know that, when you talk about, at the time, the way that the drug laws were set up in that state, she probably was just following the letter of the law, in a lot of ways. But I mean, as the laws have changed in this country, I've definitely seen her positions on marijuana and things of that nature, pivot. I mean, right now I think it would serve them so well for President Biden, who can actually do this with a stroke of a pen. He can literally free everybody who's in federal prison for a nonviolent marijuana offense. There's some people who feel like he should free everybody who's in federal prison for a nonviolent drug offense all across the board. I would like to see them do things like that.
Charlamagne Tha God giving the hammer to his Lord and Savior, Joe Biden, and Kamala too. Charlamagne Tha God has been saying a whole lot. He's been making the rounds, and in this video, we're going to cover a little bit of the conversation that he had with Stephen A. Smith. He talked a lot of politics. He talked a little bit about Kamala Harris. He talked a lot about Joe Biden. He talked about the 1994 crime bill. They talked about the Black community, a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're interested in seeing a little bit from that interview, then stay tuned. Hello, friend. I'm Amania, and welcome to The Conservative Poet. So here on the channel, I talk a little bit politics, just a little bit. Actually, I talk about a lot. So I make reaction videos, political commentary, and I throw a little bit of parody in there, some comedy to brighten up your day. So if you're looking for a laugh or two or three in reference to the crazies that's going on in our society, then you've come to the right place. So if you're interested in that, please stick around. I would appreciate it if you interacted with the video, maybe a like, maybe a comment, maybe a subscription, however you feel like you want to do. No pressures here, no pressure here, but it does help me out. It does help out the channel. So I will thank you now, and I will say God bless you, and I'm going to see you in that video. Let's go. Before we get to the clip that we're going to look at today, let's just talk a little bit about Charlamagne Tha God. And he actually calls himself Charlamagne Tha God, but yeah, for me it's a gag. So that's what we call him here. And I just don't like that whole setup. Charlamagne Tha God, like he's some stupid, some sort of important thing, so I just don't like that. So we call him the gag here on The Conservative Poet. So Charlamagne Tha God has a program. He has the ear of the Black community. When I say the Black community, I mean the hood rats, the ghettos. That's who he listens. That's who listens to him and his program. He's got a channel that's got, like, I don't know, I think it's like 5 million or so subscribers. So he's got a lot of ignorant folks listening to him. And so you would think that he would be guiding them in the right way. But it seems to me that Charlamagne Tha God is more confused than the people that listen to him. But in today's conversation, he seems to make a couple of good points. Now, he comes out all the time and he says certain things, and he was the one that Joe Biden said to, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't Black. He was the one who sat there and took it, as Master said. Master gave him that slapping. Master whipped his ass. Master gave him that kicking. And he stood there and took it. And then Kamala Harris came out and she put him in his place as well. They call it that Negro wake-up call. She gave him a Negro wake-up call, and Joe Biden gave him a Negro wake-up call. So Charlamagne, but he tends to come out of line sometimes. And so that's why sometimes I said, God, Charlamagne, if you just push it a little bit, friend, if you push it just a little bit, you just might leave the plantation. You just might get off the plantation. But he just keeps disappointing. He just keeps disappointing. So we're going to see him here in a special clip. And in this clip that we're going to look at, he talks a little bit about, how the democracy's in trouble because of Orange Man Bad. Of course, and by the way, he has some really, really bad Trump derangement syndrome. He is like Trump deranged all the way. If they put that in the dictionary, Charlamagne would come up. Trump deranged. So they talk about Trump in here, and so he is saying in this very next clip is that if we know that we've got this crazy person who did an insurrection, who is white supremacist, who's doing all these things, putting judges in to vote against us, all of these things, and we don't have a strong person on the other side. We ain't got no strong person on the other side. You know, there's nobody to take down Trump because obviously Biden can't do it. Yeah. Biden can't do it. Charlamagne admits that Biden can't do it, and so they need somebody else. And then the conversation goes into Kamala Harris in reference to, well, can she do the job? Can she take over for Joe Biden? And I say, hell no, hell no, hell no. We don't want Kamala. We don't want Kamala. We don't want Kamala Harris. And so that's what you're going to see in this. It's a very short clip. Well, it's not that short, but it's short. It's not a long one. But that's what we're going to look at today. So if you're interested in doing that, let's go.
You're telling me that there is a democracy on the other side of the ticket, like somebody that is you're seeing them strip back all of these different rights. They implemented Supreme Court judges that's stripping away all of these different rights from us. We saw him lead an lead an attempted coup in this country. We saw all of that. If we're not 100% sure that the person on the other side can win, or we don't feel like they're doing enough to win, or we don't see the sense of urgency coming from them, why shouldn't we press them on that?
Now here, Charlamagne, you just look up here. If you trying to question the Democrat Party, if you trying to question why they don't have somebody else, then you are going against democracy. You are literally standing against democracy because you are taking away votes. You're talking too much out of your mouth. Okay? And you need to put it down because you're talking too much because you are going against democracy. Okay?
Like, you can look at it from at sports, right? I can love my Dallas Cowboys, but if Dak Prescott ain't producing, and there might be somebody else that can go out there and win us some games, I want that person.
I'm not sure that's the strongest argument that you can make on this particular day, because you started off the show talking about how we gonna win the Super Bowl next year. So I'm just saying, Charlamagne. I don't know if this is not the time. This is not the subject of buffing your point.
We'll take Dak out of it. I'm just saying, if you got a stronger player,
right?
If there's a potential stronger player that can win, put them on.
Did you see a stronger player in the Democratic Party?
I didn't this time last year. When people were asking me, like, it felt like the Democrats had a very weak bench this time last year.
You absolutely right, Charlamagne Tha God. That's right. They had a weak bitch. They got a weak bitch. They got a weak bitch. A name? What's her name? Say her name. Say her name. Kamala. They got a weak bitch. Is that what he said? That's what he said. I ain't making it up. That's what he said. He said, they got a weak bitch. And who was the bitch they had? Her name was Kamala Harris. Right? Yeah. So Charlamagne, you calling her a bitch? You calling her out her name? You calling the queen out of her name? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Charlamagne? Or is that a stutter you got? It's a bench? I think it's a bench, friend. But the Floridian slip really is a bitch.
But when I heard Joe Biden, President Biden himself say,
very weak bench, because it sounded, I don't want anybody to think.
I know, every time I say that,
they say you say bench. No, you said bench. B-E-N-C-H. But go ahead. Right.
When I saw President Biden say he thinks that there's about 50 other Democrats who can beat Trump, I was like, well, who are they?
Who are they?
But then, I think Governor Shapiro in Pennsylvania. I think
no, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I
think he wouldn't stand a chance. No.
I didn't believe in Governor Newsom at first, but I started to see him make some maneuvers that I was like, okay, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. I like him in terms of how he looks, how polished he is. I mean, it's almost like somebody that used to look at Mitt Romney when he was running against Barack Obama. They were like that. He really looks good in those blue suits. You know what I'm saying? He looks presidential. I looked at Gavin Newsom, particularly when he debated Ron DeSantis on Fox News. He looks the part, but at the end of the day, if you look in California, you see the homelessness, you see the immigration issues, you see the economy, you see taxes, you see the price of gas and everything else. I think that's where Trump smokes them. That's my opinion.
Yeah, because you can always point to California.
That's right.
I find this point that of Gavin Newsom to be very, very interesting, because look at how Gavin Newsom runs California, right? California has fallen. California has fallen. This is all under Gavin Newsom. So if California has fallen under Gavin Newsom and Gavin Newsom become president, what do you think is going to happen under Gavin Newsom in America? Do you think America will completely fall? Yeah, I think so. So, well, he's polished. You know, he looks good in a suit. My God, he does. He does. He does look good in a suit. And man, can that snake spit the word? He can take it, turn it around, do all kinds of things with the language, just like Barack Obama. Just like Barack Obama. He can do all that. But look at what he has done to California, right? If you want what happened to California to happen, well, it's actually happening in all the liberal cities. But I mean, if you really want it to happen as a whole, like everywhere, red state, blue state, well, everything becomes a blue state, then sure, Gavin Newsom might be your guy. Gavin Newsom just might be your guy to completely and totally destroy America. Vote for Gavin Newsom if you want that, right? But that's my guy. He looks good in the suit, though. Gosh.
In the future, yes.
You know, if we have a democracy in the future,
he's got a chance.
I think Westmore, Maryland. But those are like my three right now. I like Tim Ryan too. Tim Ryan was I think he was a congressman in Ohio at one point. I like him a lot too. But you know, the light doesn't never really get shined on him like that. But those three I think have some potential. And I still believe in the vice president.
I was going right there. That was my next question. I didn't hear you mention Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris. You still believe in her?
I do, but we're in the bottom of the knife.
Yes.
We're in the bottom of the knife, and, you know, she's been in that office for over 3 years now, and I just wish people could see the Kamala Harris that you get when you're just having a conversation with her.
That is exactly why I don't believe in her. Exactly that. Because I'm not questioning her credentials. I'm not questioning her ability to deliver and resonate in terms of a message. My problem is you waited too long not to. And so much time has passed by. And she's been taking a lot of hits. You know, you VP, you can't do but so much.
I thought they were going somewhere else. I thought they were talking about cackling Kamala, the way she can't articulate anything, the way she just spits out word salad. I'm like, okay. They're about to admit the truth now. They're about to admit that Kamala Harris is an affirmative action and she has no business in the White House. Because she can't, I mean, this woman comes out here and make a fool of herself over and over and over and over again. I really thought that these two were about to say Kamala Harris is really not presidential at all. Like, she has no business here. But no. They took it to another level. They took it somewhere else. Oh, I really thought they were there.
You got to flow along with what the administration asked you to do. So I blame them more than I blame her. But in the same breath, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, how could you let it?
You can't blame the black woman for nothing. Kamala Harris, she can't take responsibility for none of her duties as VP, right? It's the administration's fault. It's Joe Biden's fault. Kamala Harris, no, she's doing great. She come out here and she talks a bunch of craziness. By the way, Kamala Harris is the person that was put in charge of the border. She is what they call the border czar, right? She's been that since, I believe, day 1 or day 2 or day 3 or day 5, whatever it is. She's been in charge of the border. I don't believe Kamala Harris has ever been to the border. If you know she has, you tell me, let me know right now if there's pictures of Kamala out there on the border. And again, Joe Biden only made it, about a month or so ago since he's been president, right? So, any event, we'll keep this with Kamala. So, she can't take no blame. She's done nothing wrong. Look at the border, millions and millions and millions of people pouring into this country, and she's standing out here talking word salad about nothing. About nothing. Yeah, but you can't blame her for nothing. You blame the administration because she ain't got nothing to do with it. She ain't got nothing to do with it. She's our queen. She's the queen. Yeah, she the queen.
This point.
But they, you know, it's so interesting. They gave her a way for her to come in and really have like I don't want to say a heel turn, but like a turn in her, the character that we saw. Because you had Nikki Haley running around saying we should have chills up our spine for a Kamala Harris presidency. Like, you know, you had other people in the Republican Party saying we should be scared to death of a Kamala Harris presidency. Well, damn, why scared to death? You know That's not even language we use for Donald Trump.
Are you ready for this? You know where I think she missed it?
Where?
Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida, the education system, they tried to explain that there were benefits to slavery. And they were challenging folks to debate them on this. And one of the challenges was to the vice president.
Yeah.
And she passed. If you can't debate, and listen, we gonna be neutral here. You know, we're black men, we're proud black men, but we gonna be neutral here from the standpoint. We're gonna say it as plainly as I can without trying to be offensive. If you can't debate a middle-aged white man who is saying that there are benefits to slavery, as the vice president of the United States, as a former district attorney of San Francisco, first black woman, as the former first black state attorney general in the state of California, if you can't debate that subject with a presidential candidate at the time, to me, it was one of those things, it might be beneath you. You might be swinging down because you're there and he's not, because he was aiming to go for the White House. But in the same breath, that issue should have been so piercing to you, that position that they took, that should have been a fight you were willing to embrace.
Absolutely. And you saw when that's what Gavin Newsom took up the fight, right? So him and Ron DeSantis actually were debating on Fox. I agree with you. Like, you got to go into that lion's den. Like, you know, I know for a fact that a lot of Democrats, you know, in her position, they feel like their words get misconstrued by Fox News. So they're kind of afraid to.
Seen that, heard that, good. Charlamagne Tha God, no. We are not only saying that because Kamala Harris is black. Kamala Harris is incompetent, okay? You just said it yourself. She couldn't even debate Ron DeSantis when it came to the whole books and black history situation. She couldn't even pull that off. They're saying it. You were weak there, Kamala. You were weak. You couldn't even do that. And yet you want to be president. But yes, a Kamala Harris presidency would be scary. Now, if you're really being honest and truthful, Charlamagne, and you, Mr. Smith, if you're really being honest, you would say half the time you don't even understand what Kamala Harris be saying. You don't understand anything she be saying because she makes no sense. She throws a whole bunch of things out there and nothing really comes out. Nothing logical. She is an embarrassment to the country. Look at the job she's done at the border. She is an embarrassment. Okay? That's all she does. It embarrasses this country. And if she would be put in charge of the nukes, yeah, we better all be scared to death. I'm scared to death of her becoming president. Are you kidding me?
What about people who make that argument against her? Well, I don't know the answer to that question. I'm genuinely asking.
Yeah, I don't fully know the answer to it at all, but I do know that, you know, when you talk about, you know, at the time, the way the drug laws were set up in that state, she probably was just following the letter of the law, you know, in a lot of ways. But I mean, as the laws have changed in this country, I've definitely seen her positions on marijuana and things of that nature, you know, pivot. I mean, right now, I think it would serve them so well for President Biden, who can actually do this with a stroke of a pen. He can literally free everybody who's in federal prison for a non-violent marijuana offense. There's some people who feel like he should free everybody who's in federal prison for a non-violent drug offense all across the board.
Ain't it interesting? Kamala Harris, the hammer, right? Joe Biden wrote the 1994 crime bill, and Kamala Harris, as what was she? District attorney? Is that what she was? State attorney? Whatever she was. She was the hammer that locked up a whole bunch of people that looked like Charlamagne Tha God and looked like her, right? And looked like me too. She did that. She locked up a whole bunch of people for smoking marijuana. And what did she go? Matter of fact, she was on Charlamagne's show, The Breakfast Club, and said, yeah, I did used to hit that a little bit. I did hit that a little. But she gave people the hammer for smoking marijuana when she was smoking it herself. Ain't that something? Kamala Harris, the queen. Seen that, heard that, good. So friends, there it is, the Kamala story with Charlamagne the Gag. So that's gonna be it for this video. I don't have much more to add to this, so thank you guys for taking the time. Like, share, subscribe, and by the way, I do have a membership. It's only $5.99. It really does help me out. It's a monthly. You can cancel anytime. It really does help me out with what I'm doing here on YouTube. Appreciate you and all of your support. And I'm just so grateful for the ones who's already subscribed. They are getting behind the scenes pictures of what I'm doing on the ground. Like last week, the president, not the president. President Trump was here last week in my neck of the woods, and so I was able to get a really nice picture, and I shared that inside of my membership. And also, during this weekend, I was with other YouTubers, and we were on the street doing interviews. So also my subscribers and members are able to see me behind the scenes doing those things. So there are definitely great perks, things that you're not going to see here on in this format. So, but I thank you for doing that, for coming and subscribing, enjoying the videos. Let me know. Let's have a conversation in the comments. And I'm going to say goodbye. Like Charlamagne Tha God, I'm going to say peace, y'all. Thank you so much. God bless you and God keep you.